Hey everyone, and welcome to this Facebook Live. It is so good to see you on this day today. I hope you're all having an awesome day. So I wanted to come in and do this video because it's been something that's been cropping up lately when I've been talking with people that just sort of feel stuck and feel really, really disconnected from themselves, from their intuition, but also around that universal source connection as well. So I really wanted to share this with people as a way for anyone that's out there that's feeling stuck or have ever had a moment where they feel stuck. And because that moment when you feel stuck, all you want to do is to be able to know the answer, know the direction, and keep on going. So today I'm going to share with you 3 words that will keep you in that stuck zone and keep you disconnected from source, but also share with you how to get moving again. So I'm just going to quickly share this across to my page. So hey Tracy, how are you, hun? When you jump on, say hi, let me know where you're tuning in from, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to just type replay and let me know what your thoughts are. So as I was saying, the reason I wanted to come in is because I've been talking with a few people, and this was a technique that I learned quite a fair few years ago when I was doing a coaching program around this exact moment, because people come for you for coaching or when they're in a stuck place that want to get moving. So the 3 words that will always keep you stuck and disconnected from source informations are these 3 words: I don't know. Simple. And we've all used them many, many times before when someone says, oh, you know, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know what I want to do. What those 3 words do on a physical level is your energy within your body and your body itself contracts, because it's building a defense mechanism to protect itself. When it doesn't know something, it goes into defense mode. So your body physiologically contracts in on itself and stays in a heightened state of protection mode, defense mode. If you don't know something, you're going to protect yourself from anything that does come to you. On a mindset level, what that does for you when you use the words I don't know is you actually close off your mind from being able to receive any information or even any advice that is possible to help you, because you have trained yourself to believe that if you don't know what the answer, no one else is going to be able to help you. So you're not going to listen to any information, any advice from anyone else, because what the hell could they possibly know? So you shut your brain down and build these defense barriers within your mind so that no new information can come in. That's dead right, Tracy. I'm so pleased that you wrote that. And this is exactly like when I work with students, I also use this technique as well. So that's what happens on a mindset level, is your mind shuts down from any possible new information coming in or exploring to consider other options, because you've built this defense mechanism up saying, if I don't know what I need to do, no one else is going to be able to help me, and I can't help myself either. So I'm going to defend myself by shutting myself off mentally to any other possibility of help out there. What happens on a soul level and spiritual level is how you disconnect from source and intuitive guidance is when you tell yourself you don't know, you actually shut down your heart chakra and you actually close off your crown chakra. Your heart chakra is where your soul sits behind that. So when you shut that down, you're not going to be able to tune into that intuitive guidance, or even if you do, you're not going to trust it anyway, because you've already installed the belief that you don't know. On a crown chakra level, you close that down, so you cannot receive any source information, any universal intelligence coming in to be able to help you at this point, because you've closed that off, all through these 3 simple words of I don't know. And we think nothing of them because we do them all the time, yet we forget how powerful words are. Remember, words can either heal or they can harm. And when we use the words I don't know, we actually move into a space of harming our own self. And a lot of the times we don't even know that happens. Now, what happens is when we continue to do this, on a mental emotional level, when you keep saying I don't know, at first you're like I don't know, and then you get like a little bit confronted with that. But then what happens is after a little while, when you keep hearing yourself saying I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, then that therefore leads to frustration and anger and outburst and resentment, and just continually perpetuate the situation. Hey Dana, how are you, honey? And all the other gorgeous souls that have jumped on today. So the first and number one thing you can do if you ever find yourself in a position where you feel stuck or disconnected from source energy and you're using that language of I don't know, the number one thing we were taught in coaching, and I'm sure if any of my students are jumping on, they would have heard me use this technique on them, is that I will say to them, what would happen if you do know? What would you do different? How would you think differently? What energy would you bring if you did know the answer that you are seeking? If you did know what you wanted to do? And therefore what that does is, again, it does the opposite. It expands your energy. It expands your mind to be able to explore different options, to be able to take on any advice from anyone. It allows you to expand past those walls and allow those defense mechanisms to start breaking down and start being open to possible suggestions on a intuitive and soulful level. You keep your crown chakra open, you keep your heart chakra open, so it means that you are connecting in and asking that question of, if I did know what I wanted to do, what would I do? And remember, if you ask your mind a question, it must seek to find the answer. So when your soul and the universe hear that you're asking for help and guidance, guess what? It starts channeling and coming through you. So therefore you become an open vessel to help you move from feeling stuck. And remember, energy loves momentum. So the more that you can keep that energy within your own self of being open, expansive, consider different possibilities and options and be explorative, you start shifting the energy vibration within your own self and start to come from this really new place where you start to cultivate new beliefs that you do have the answers within you. If you ask the right question, you can unlock the answers from within yourself. So as I mentioned, if you feel like you are ever in a moment or you use that language of I don't know, don't get upset. Just say to yourself, if I did know, what would I do? If I did know, what would be the energy I would bring? If I did know, what version of myself would I bring? What mindset would I bring to this? And therefore, you've already created momentum, and therefore, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, this is the version of self that I would operate from. This is the mindset that I would have. I'd be open, I'd be expansive, I'd take on advice from other people. My energy level would be open because my crown and heart chakra, so I'm opening up and being aware of the signs and synchronicity or any intuitive information that floats into my awareness. And all of a sudden, you are then just getting channeled through all of this wicked information. And not just that, the more important thing, other than just cultivating new beliefs, is that you cultivate a belief that you do have all of the answers within you. You've just got to be able to know how to access it and unlock it and then move forward. So it's amazing how by simply shifting 3 words from I don't know to what if I do know, what would I do? Who would I be? How would I show up? What would be my mindset, my emotional sense of self, my energy level? It's amazing how when you have that tiny little shift, how differently you start operating from a different place of resourcefulness, of empowerment, of choices. Because when we feel stuck, we feel that we become limited to the choices that we have. We feel like we're having to do all this shit on our own. What if someone has deliberately disconnected to wrong source? Well, if you have deliberately disconnected from a source of energy that you feel that doesn't vibe with you, then that's the most important thing, is about making sure that you stay committed to the vibration of energy and the frequency that you want, honey. So don't worry about whether it's wrong. Just look for the one that's the right one for you. But as I was saying, like, learning to understand that we do have all of the answers inside of us, that if we shift our language, and it can be simple, tiny little shift in the way that we express words, how differently the response comes, and how we can move into a space of expansion rather than contraction. Because I don't know will forever, always keep you stuck. And there is nothing good that gets generated from that, because we slowly start to spiral downwards where we don't even trust our own self. So therefore, we're not going to trust the intuitive information, even if it does come up. We're certainly not going to see the signs, because you're not open. You've got these blinkers on like horses that just covering your eyes, and you cannot even see the signs. And even if you do, your head's in such not a good space where you're not even going to see that as intuitive guidance, because you have channeled yourself to believe that you don't know what the answers was, so that even if it just came and smacked you right in the face, you would still find a way to dismiss it and push it away, because you embed a belief that you don't know. And this is the most disempowering way that what we can do to our own self is through our choice of language. Definitely. And the word yet or but, because but, we go, you know, I want to do this, but when we use the word but, that deletes anything that we say at the front, and the only thing that our soul and our human part within ourselves hears is the excuse that we give after the but. So this is where it's so important to be really mindful of your language, but not only mindful, being able to have constructive ways that the moment that you become aware that you have used that particular language, what is it that you can do to immediately counteract that and keep that momentum, and keeping yourself operating from a space of empowerment, stepping into being, knowing that there is all the source information available to you, that your intuition and your soul and the universe, your cosmic team, are working with you every single step of the way. But you've got to be open to allow yourself to be able to receive that. And we can do that by shifting that language to going, if I did know what if I do know what the answer is, or if I did know what I knew, what would I do? We embark on bringing through a new level of exploration, adventure, fun, excitement. So you immediately shift up the energy vibration within your own self. But it's so easy, because what happens is when we use the language of I don't know, when we continue to use that, we actually allow ourselves to not only believe it, but there becomes a secondary gain that comes from being able to use that language. And what I mean by a secondary gain is that if you continue to use a language that you know that's disempowering you, that's frustrating you, you're getting angry, not getting any good results, the secondary gain comes, you now have something to blame. I can't go and do, like, I'll just use an example. I heard someone the other day say, I don't know what I want to do with my time at the moment. And I said to them, oh, what about, made all these suggestions, and they keep coming back. Now, what can happen is the secondary game is that the reason that they can't go and do anything is because they don't know what to do. That becomes the blame game. That becomes the excuse. That becomes the wall that they become confined to, that starts closing in on them, and it removes the blame from themselves. And so therefore there becomes the secondary gain. And as we know, blame, shame, anger, resentment only holds you in that low vibrating of energy, and it is so completely disempowering, and nothing good on a holistic level of mental, emotional, physical, soulful, or spiritual level. Nothing is getting generated that's awesome on any of those spectrums, and we start to shut down. And then we get to the stage where we get sick of our own self, because we can start to feel that contraction within our whole entire beingness, and the walls start to feel like they're closing in on us. Yet the moment that we shift that language and go, well, what would I do if I did know? Boom, open, no blame game, self-empowerment, take your personal power back, choices, direction, shift in energy, elevated mindset, connection to source and universal infinite wisdom and soul guidance. Boom, everything becomes available, and therefore things start to rapidly shift. So I really wanted this to be able to something to go out to each and every one of you. I'm so awesome that this has helped you so much, Dana. That's exactly what I wanted to be able to do, is to be able to help as many people be able to make those slight little shifts in the language that we have, to be able to align ourselves back to being always remembering that you have an infinite supply of information that is always being channeled to you and through you. You can either open up the door and welcome and embrace that and stay connected to it, regardless whether you trust it or not. And what I mean by that is sometimes we get all of this information when you haven't developed that intuitive part within your own self, that you're like, oh, I don't know if I trust it, but at least I'm open to it. At least you know you're receiving it. And all of these amazing things start to shift within you that bring out the best version of you. But nothing good gets generated within you, and no awesome version of self gets presented within your own self or externally with others, which means you become like this Debbie Downer, and no one wants to be around that shit, because it just sucks the life out of you when someone just keeps going, oh, I don't know, because it means they're not open. So there's no point having a conversation with someone that is not open to possibilities, because they have already created that defense mechanism, that wall, that blame game, to have a secondary gain to remove themselves from taking action. And a lot of the times is the reason that we will use I don't know is, one, that we're programmed to do it, and two, we want to operate from that place of being scared of, what if I make the wrong decision? What if I get it wrong? What happens if I go and do that and I don't get the result that I want? Guess what? You're going to find out one way that doesn't work for you. So you go back to the drawing board and you open up that expansion and go, well, okay, well, that didn't work for me. What's a different way that I could do X, Y, Z? So therefore, you're always learning. The more that you learn about what you don't like also helps you open and eliminate those things, so you don't need to approach those the next time, and start opening and to discover new ways that you do like to do that. I don't know yet leaves it open. No, it doesn't, hun, because I don't know yet is like saying I'm going to do that soon. When does soon ever arrive? When is yet ever going to come? You want to be able to state a conviction in the now, or else you'll always be going, I don't know yet. And tomorrow you'll wake up and you're like, I still don't know yet. Oh, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, I still don't know yet. So you're still holding yourself in what I call like a holding pen, and not allowing yourself to be open. But when you say, if I did know what I wanted to do, what would I do? You're already stating in the now that you already possess all of the answers that are within you. So notice how that completely shifts it. And that's why we always say, when we want to manifest something, we want to manifest it in the now. Not I want to be able to have that and just leave it open-ended, because it stays open for forever long until you state and claim it and bring it into the present reality of now. So as I mentioned, using the statement of, and you know what, the thing that I find the most incredibly interesting is that when you actually say to someone, so you need to be really mindful when you say to someone, I remember the first times I did this doing coaching, and I remember the times that I've done it with students, the absolute, I will say the word shock that comes over them, because when you say to them, if you did know what you wanted to do, what would you do? You'll see that shock come over them. And this is where you just need to just sit and hold that space for them, because that person has never, ever, ever asked themselves that question. So they're going to be stumped by that. So be okay to just hold that space for them, because they'll look at you and go like, what the fuck? I just told you I didn't know, and you're trying to tell me I do know? Are you stupid? Are you not listening? And so they get that shock look of, what the fuck? But just allow that, because remember, again, that's a defense mechanism that's going on within them. They're defending that they don't know. And at first, when you ask them that question of what if you did know, remember their natural state of mindset, energy, soul, and spiritual level of self is going to come through as defensive. So just be okay with that. Just hold the space and say that, and continue to keep saying, but if you did know, what would you do? And they might keep going, well, I don't know what I want to do, but if you did, what would be? And break it down into those 4 quadrants. What would you do? What action would you take? What version of self would you bring? You know, which direction would you like to be? What energy would you like to come from? Are you connected? Do you feel like you're connected to that cosmic energy of the soul and the universe coming through? What if you did know how to do that? All of a sudden, it's like cracking open up this door of fear. And that's literally what happens for them when you ask that, because it's confronting, because they've never stopped to consider that. So I really want for you to be able to know that when you do this with your own self, that that there will be a state of shock, but the shock comes more when you actually say it to someone else, because they're going to feel very defensive and feel very, very vulnerable. So don't attach onto the words that they may come from their mouth straight afterwards. Know that that's coming from that either blame, guilt, anger, shame, or resentment, or defensiveness, or feeling like you're not listening to them. That's the place that they're going to come from initially. And this is where you want to be able to come in and, you know, let them know that they're supported by being able to say, you know, some of the things I would say with my students would be like, remember, all of the answers are within you. What are you stopping yourself from receiving this information? What is it that you could unlock if you knew what the answer of what direction would you go in? And start leading them down a new pathway, but lead them down a pathway where they know that they are being fully supported at that time, because they're going to be doing something new. And whenever we do anything new, we have nerves. And then the perfectionism part can come in with, I need to be able to get this right, because it stirs up our fears and doubts. So take them on this gorgeous journey with you while you hold their hands and hold that space and support them until they find that they can unlock the answers within themselves by asking different questions and just allowing themselves to be open. Now, some people, they can, you know, once they move through that defensiveness, open up the door a little bit and then be scared and want to shut that. Keep finding ways to just keep opening it and keep opening it and supporting them and being gentle, and come from that femme space of strength, support, and nurturing, and help them unlock the answers from within them so that they can realize just how powerful they are. And this is the gift that we can give to them, rather than keep sitting there giving them ideas and giving them suggestions and knowing that it's not going anywhere, and them getting defensive and creating this argument and discontent between two people. That doesn't help anything. But the moment that you come from that energy vibration of support, nurturing, and helping them activate their own self-power, the power to be able to receive the answers within them, even if you know what they are, find different ways for them to be able to access them within themselves. It is they go from shock to a different form of shock of, far out, that was just fucking wicked. It can feel like you're extracting teeth while you're doing it, so you do have to be patient. And know that everyone works at a different level and within their own pace. So be patient, and guide people towards that. And this will be that shock that you receive when they get that answer, is the shock of, I always knew that I could access the answers within me, but I just didn't know how. So this has been the most powerful aha, epiphany, fuck yeah moment that they will never forget. So, and this is something that you can do within your own self to help you unlock your own potential, to help you stay connected to your intuition. Because when you go to make a different choice after, you know, after saying to yourself, if I did know what I wanted to do, what would I do? All of a sudden you start opening up that connection to your intuition. So you start feeling, when you make a suggestion or an idea, you feel, does that feel right for you? And remember that anxiety and excitement can share the same physiological response, but you get that physiological response that goes, yeah, that feels right. Yeah, let's give that a go. And then once you get that go ahead, you move on and you start moving with much more excitement and expansion in your mind, your emotions, within yourself, and with your energy, and within shifting and cultivating new beliefs within your own self. So no worries then, Tracy. It was great to see you, honey. So I really hope and know that you'll be able to take this away and start being able to implement it straight away and start seeing completely different results within your own self, and being able to unlock all of that infinite intelligence that is just sitting within you and is available to you through source energy, when you know how to be able to unlock and access that, and to be able to extract the information from within your own self to move you from feeling stuck and reconnect you back to that infinite source of divine information and soulful information that is just sitting within you. So for anyone that's out there, if this is something that's really connected with you and you would love to know more of these awesome techniques, you'll find a link in the comment area around, if you want to be able to jump in and learn more about these. There is an offer to be able to jump in for a free sacred soul chat, where we can talk more about how we can do that together. So take care, much love, and feel free to share.